Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got an early edition of Smackdown, early for us, on time for Dublin, which is where they were today.
So this is going to be the norm next week, too, because they're in Europe all next week. So Raw will be early. Smackdown next week will be early.
We got our Monday episode booked, man. We got Monday Night Raw. After Raw happens, we'll do that. That sounds cool. Yeah, man, look at that dance. Or Carl Anderson dance right there. Look at that. La Parka. Anyways, let's talk about Larson, you know what the topic du jour is these days? WWE wringing out every ounce of dollar, every cent they can from their fans.
Possible cent. So, I guess first, this is from a Reddit post on a spreadsheet someone put on a Reddit post. This hasn't been officially confirmed, so just keep that in mind. Not to say it won't be, but I think it's an important caveat to say this isn't numbers direct from On Location, which handles WWE's. At least as far as I know, WWE's premium live event experience packages. So,
yeah,
WrestleMania 42 travel packages set to go on sale in the near future, I believe, in about a month's time.
Mm-hmm.
And most of us are going to have to take out a loan or get a second mortgage to afford the full elite experience. So, on Reddit, a user posted a breakdown of the top on-location travel packages for next year's Mania, and they range in price from $30,000 for the elite package.
Okay, that's a good upper limit right there. Rich people spend that, I guess.
To $70,000 for the elite premium package.
Hold on.
So this package, you get a bunch like fan experience stuff. You get front row center tickets to Raw, SmackDown, both nights of WrestleMania. That's what you get.
Do you get like a meet and greet with people?
Yeah, it's the meet and greet. You get the I think you get to stand on the ramp and
eat breakfast with the Undertaker.
Chews ice at you for 15 minutes. So
listens to your shitty booking ideas and chews ice.
So, and listen, it's like a handful of seats, front row, center, facing hard cam. This isn't half the stadium cost is $70,000, and people want to spend $70,000 on the WrestleMania experience. That's their prerogative. I guess the issue in my mind is less, they're for these 10 seats or whatever, they're charging $70,000 for the full weekend of shows and all these experiences.
Yeah.
It's just increasingly, whether you're sitting on the floor, the lower bowl, the upper deck, tickets to events, to WWE events, are becoming increasingly inaccessible, I would think, for a large portion of WWE's fan base. Yeah.
So two things. Number one, Matt from the Assemble Wrestling Show on YouTube. You guys check it out. Matt's a really great guy and a hell of a content creator. Sent this during our last live stream because he was kicking around in there. And this is for, I believe, I think this is, it is. It's for, this is official. It's from their actual website. Crown Jewel in Perth's. Elite, and this is not elite premium. This is elite. And so this is. I want you to guess based off of the number that you just gave for the elite, not elite premium, at being $30,000. What do you think they would charge for Crown Jewel Perth?
So I did see a comment. Maybe I saw a comment somewhere. Maybe it was one of our videos someplace. I don't remember where it was. That someone said they had got their tickets for Perth, their flights to Perth, but going to the show was going to cost more than their flights, so they canceled the flights. So we're talking some seriously expensive tickets, I would guess. This is for the elite, the standard VIP experience.
Yeah, it's not elite premium. It's $15,000.
Yeah, this is for...
half of what a WrestleMania, if what you're talking about is actually true.
Yeah.
And like you said, this doesn't specify, at least here, that you get, it says premium front row seating. Now, it doesn't specify that it's for just the event or the event plus Raw and SmackDown. I think that was probably like on the previous page or something. I can maybe assume it's the same type of package though. You get to meet Grayson Waller, apparently, an onstage appearance by Rhea Ripley, which doesn't indicate that you get to meet Rhea Ripley. You just get to see her on stage, maybe in a private deal. And then there's we laughed about this one. It said meet and greet with a winner. It's like, okay, well, what winner? And then you get to
the
go
winner's
backstage.
gonna be WWE because they're separating people from their money at a very high rate. I'm gonna interject here real quick just because I looked. WrestlePalooza tickets went on sale, I think, today.
Yeah.
Take a guess on how much floor seats facing hard cam cost.
I mean, dude, at this point, I don't know what sounds reasonable or not. $1,000?
You're gonna have to go much higher than that, buddy.
5,000?
Yep.
Oh my God! How much did we pay for hard cam floor for that? Was it Backlash or No Mercy? that we went
Payback,
to?
whatever it was. I don't know, 150 maybe, 100.
Jesus Christ! That was 7 years ago, but that wasn't 7 years ago. That is not that long ago.
No, that was fourth row. If those same seats for WrestlePalooza is actually going to cost you almost $6,000.
I mean, the bottom line is, dude, the reason why they're charging this is because for now, they can. Dude, I know this might piss some people off. Look, on Tuesday we dropped our Raw review. I enjoyed Raw. I generally enjoy Raw. I think it's a well-booked show, and it's not like exceedingly great or anything like that. SmackDown was as mid as you can get today. And that crowd was awesome because it was a starved audience, and they had, Becky Lynch was there and Cena was there. And boy, oh boy, they had a terrific time. You can tell they were really into it.
Yeah.
But it really does illustrate, it's just a counter to just how bad Vince was. When you look back at 2019 and how empty the arenas were, back then people would take pictures, they post them on social media at how empty the arenas were. Yeah. And his booking was so bad. And here's the thing about Triple H's booking. It ain't that great. It's good. It's consistent. It's logical.
Competent. It's competent.
It's competent. I would give you this. I'd say competent plus. Maybe competent premium. But it doesn't really go past that because you don't get on a regular basis those moments where you're like, oh, God damn, I can't wait to see what happens next week. And that's when you move beyond competent. That's bloodline stuff, which was most of it was under Vince. A lot of the good stuff was under amalgam between Triple H and Vince, but whatever.
Well, and of course, Paul Heyman had a heavy hand in all that too. So.
He did. Yeah, I think the Bloodline was a kind of a different creative situation. And once Vince, let's be honest, once Vince was at least in one way gone, when the Wall Street Journal thing dropped and he was gone, even when he came back and it was more, well, here, I'll, fax Triple H these ideas or whatever. It was still, it had that Triple H layer of competence. It was like, okay, let's just make sure these performers know who their characters are. Let's make sure that we're not doing, random rematches as if they didn't just happen last week. It had some Vince-isms in it, but I'll be honest with you, some of that stuff was pretty decent back then. Now it's like they can charge all this stuff because it's not horrible. But the market seems to indicate that they can charge this stuff, and there are rich people out there because, fucking Joe Main Street, he ain't paying this. He's not. This is the Bobby Roode type shit where he's like CEOs and whatnot are gonna be paying
what I
this.
thought about that last night when I first saw about these numbers, as posted on Reddit about the VIP ticket packages for Mania. Was that Triple H speaking through Bob Roode in that promo about wanting tech CEOs sitting ringside?
Do you look at you got to wonder, had Vince McMahon not completely ruined Bob Roode when he came up to main roster? If Triple H had kept his hands on Roode, if Triple H had somehow made his way to main roster as head of creative while Bobby Roode was available, I wonder if it would have been much different because he did his appearance was kind of Triple H-ish. I remember we talked about it was like kind of a bit of a meme back then where it's like, oh man, he's just maybe, honestly, it's not from a business standpoint, it's a great way to keep your job if you're Triple H. Hey, under me, we've been able to like, I don't know, what's the difference between $5,000 and $150? What's the multiplier on that? A lot.
And like what,
35, something like that.
Yeah, like 300 plus. Well, 300 plus, 3,500 plus, something like that. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah. But if it's like an X multiplier, it might be. I don't know what it is, but. You know, I mean, dude, if they can charge that money, they're gonna charge that money. And if the crowds keep popping and if the shows keep selling really well, they're gonna keep doing. I talked to one of my kid's friends. She's into wrestling, 9 years old, and her dad came over because he was gonna pick her up. They had a play date, and he was like, "Hey. Don't tell her, but I got tickets to Raw in September, October, whenever it's out here in Sac." And he was like, "Oh, they weren't cheap though." You know, and then like his partner kicked in. She was like, "Hey, if you want to get these tickets, I'll chip in half." So now it's a two income situation with getting these tickets for the family. But dude, honestly, we can sit here and crow about WWE, and I have no problem talking about how these snakes are just wringing this money out of us.
We could do an hour-long show on it, yeah.
Yeah, we totally could. But, like, let's also not act like this ain't the case across the board. You know, in every aspect of life, these snakes at the top are just trying to wring every cent out of you that they possibly can. Every experience. Bro, going down to fucking McDonald's is like a night out. You know, that's a treat. Dude, when I went to LA, every single restaurant experience we did. And that's why we brought a bunch of food in the hotel. We brought a little, a hot plate or whatever, because like once a day we'd go to a place, cause it's a vacation, it's a treat. We're only there for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Every single one was $100.
Yep.
For 3 people.
Yep.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Go to Denny's. And if you have a husband and or if you got 2 parents and a kid, dude, bro, you're spending $80.
Yep.
On normal shit.
Yeah. Not extravagant stuff by any stretch of the imagination. I know everything is more expensive.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
But to go from 150 to 5,000, Denny's hasn't increased that much.
No.
But again, Vince, I think Vince had dug them into such a hole of just awful, nonsensical terror. I don't want to hear one person say, Vince McMahon, he was better than Triple H. Nah.
No.
Just because it proof's in the pudding, man. You put on something that actually makes a lick of sense, which is what they're just doing standard pro wrestling shit.
Yeah. There's nothing extraordinarily fantastic about anything that's on WWE television right now.
The only thing that's fantastic is that these performers really know who they are and they do a killer job performing.
Yes.
I mean, you can't. That's the thing about, the SmackDown tag division. I thought the Mellow Miz stuff today was pretty fun. I like kind of where that's headed. But they got some good names, across the board. They have built up some real superstars in their own language. They built up some really popular wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they connect with the crowd. And you don't need Succession level television or Severance level television every week to get these crowds to pop, to get them to plunk down that money. Imagine how much they could charge if it was like, oh my God, every week.
Riveting entertainment every week. I should specify nothing about WWE creative right now. It's fantastic. Performers are fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a situation where if those are the prices, the market is demanding, people are willing to pay that much, hit that Klarna button or whatever to pay for these tickets, seemingly.
Yeah.
They're going to keep doing it until there's a breaking point reached where, I mean, just looking at the WrestlePalooza floor seats that I mentioned, the front row's all sold out. Mm-hmm. But past that, plenty of tickets available. Of course, it's dynamic pricing on Ticketmaster for everything these days, pretty much, except for maybe smaller shows. So, if those seats don't sell in the near future, those prices are going to come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, yeah.
The thing about the on-location stuff is the advantage there, if you want to spend $30,000 to $70,000, is you get those seats locked in,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I read a bunch of reviews of people's experience with On Location last year at Mania. It's generous to say mixed reviews.
Interesting, yeah.
Just a lot of people were not satisfied, seemingly, with their experience. As a value proposition, more than anything. But yeah, it just, and this isn't just WWE. It's live events on any sort of scale are just becoming increasingly out of the range. I feel like for a lot of people got to spend a ton of money. Just like, for example, if you want to, I know this is a couple of years, past relevancy, but if you're a family of 4 and want to go to a Taylor Swift show because your kids like Taylor Swift, it's probably going to set you back $1,200.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because the other guys, the alternative, AEW, much more affordable.
Yeah.
They charge what they can. I'm sure if they could charge $70,000 for front row, they probably would. They're a business, dude.
What do they want to do?
Oh, wring that money right out of those AEW fans.
Yep.
They want to be all elite premium. But let me ask you this. You just mentioned if you're a family, you're a parent that likes wrestling, your kid might be into it. It's a little like, oh, we're going to go see the stars of AEW instead of WWE. You would think that a lower price point on the tickets, hey, you're getting out and going to see a professional wrestling, a good production pro wrestling show. It might not be, WWE, but you would think that's like maybe one selling point for the alternative is, hey, you can come out, watch a really good show. We'll entertain the hell out of you. Your kids can watch a bloodbath hardcore match, maybe. And I mean, that you got to think that's probably one selling point for the alternative is cheaper prices. You can take your kids out to an AEW show. All of them instead of $1,200, you can go for like $120 or something like that.
Yeah, to have decent seats. So I'm just during the course of that point you were making, I went to look to see what the cheapest available seat is that I could find for WrestlePalooza. On the offhand, like obviously the seats closer to the ring, especially facing Hardcam, you'll be on TV. Those are going to go for a premium.
Yeah.
Looks like the cheapest ticket to get in the building is still $130.
Do they have 2 levels or 3 levels?
2.
Is it like?
It's the Pacers arena basketball.
Okay, how do you? I know you know a little bit more about this stuff than I do. Do you know when that was built? Is it a newer, modern arena? Most of them are.
I don't remember because they used to. If this is the same arena or the old arena was called, this was Conseco Fieldhouse. Mm-hmm. Now it's Gainbridge, whoever buys the naming rights to it. The reason I asked, a lot of modern arenas follow the template of Golden One, or have that similar template where the upper deck is like fucking. Oh yeah, so steep. You feel like if you walk down the steps, you're just gonna get some momentum. You're gonna just roll down the aisle and fly off the upper deck. Yeah,
I would not spend $130 upper deck for any show. I don't care what it is.
The first. So this is the Conseco Fieldhouse.
Okay,
it's built in 1999. So maybe it's not that bad.
That's probably nice. That's probably those upper decks are probably all right then.
It could be because I remember the first arena I went to that was like that was the Staples Center in the upper deck.
Yeah.
The first time I walked up, I was like, oh man, this is triggering my fear of heights because
the
this
vertigo.
Is steep.
Yeah, dude, you're like, whoa,
Yeah, going down those stairs, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just gonna tumble down the stairs and fly off. I was at a hockey game and just fly off and land on the ice.
Like and you have those intrusive thoughts. You have those intrusive thoughts where part of you just wants to leap.
No.
Let's move on then. Let's talk about AAA also telling WWE fuck off. Talk about talent in this case. And this was interesting. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, those other guys, Dave Meltzer, reports that there might be some discontent in the AAA locker room about WWE purchasing the company. This is what Meltzer had to write. Nick Khan gave a speech to the talent before the show and told them he wanted to make it clear that WWE is not there to take over the product. I mean, they did that. They bought them. Sorry, that was me.
I mean,
Meltzer,
WrestleMania looked like and felt like our WWE show.
I mean, they took it over. He said this: they're only there to assist them in being seen globally and to ultimately put more of that fan money into all of their pockets. Now, a couple of the wrestlers afterwards were saying that they were hopeful it's true, but noted that with the new restrictions in their contracts, they are allowed to take a small booking in Mexico during a day off, but the contracts don't allow them to take a U.S. booking the same night in a city they had worked regularly that would pay them 20 times that amount. So it sounds like the AAA talent is not allowed to work independent lucha or regular shows in the U.S., but don't have a restriction in Mexico. Now, one thing, end quote. Now, one thing that you and I had heard in the past is AAA doesn't pay great, but because of their prominence and because of the exposure they get, they're able to command pretty big salaries outside of the AAA promotion. Now, I never knew, or I never got clarification on whether or not that was within Mexico still or in the United States. Stands to reason that probably the United States would have a bigger payday than promotions in Mexico. But then I'm ignorant on the subject, so maybe I'm wrong about that. If true, it'll be interesting over the next couple of years if the talent look at their, accounts and are like, well, this wasn't great. Or if they'll be like, yeah, things kind of even out. Maybe WWE, these contracts are going to pay out a little bit more because we can't work these U.S. dates that we used to. Or if WWE is just trying to wring as much as they can out of the talent.
Yeah, there's a lot unknown, regarding these deals that AAA talent, I would assume, signed once WWE purchased the company. Like, you would like to hope, given the size and the amount of money that WWE is making from wringing every cent they can out of their customers, that, if it was a situation where AAA wrestlers weren't making great money working AAA shows, that with these contracts with WWE, their not salary, their pay would go up, independent contractors. I don't think you could consider that salary. Now, so that would offset maybe some of the money they may be losing from not being able to work shows in the States. But if it's a situation where they just kind of moved over the AAA contracts, put a WWE stamp on them, and continue on as business was going.
Except put like a big, red pen or big black pen, like redacted through the bit that says, yeah, go ahead and take whatever dates in the U.S. you want to take.
Yeah.
They just said, no, I can't do this.
So essentially it's like WWE comes in, buys the company, isn't increasing their pay, and then limits the places they can work when they're independent contractors. Yeah, I'd be upset about that too.
I am still curious. Again, like you said, we got to preface this by saying we don't know a lot of the situation.
We don't have the contracts in hand. We don't know what it says, any of that stuff. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I assume they had a lot of these talent had contracts with AAA in the first place. Now, I don't know how this shit works, but can a company just come in, buy another company, and then be like, these contracts null and void? I don't think that's how it works. Unless the contracts are written in a certain way that it's like you're date to date, but I don't think that's how that shit works.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
So I don't know. I'll just put it this way, because there's so many unknowns. It's an interesting little tidbit about how these things work and if this is going to affect the ability of AAA under WWE to continue to, for talent to want to remain to be there, or if we're going to see a mass exodus. If they keep on, if you see sort of that core of AAA talent start to get booked more and more on main roster talent, maybe that would make up for, the lost income that they were making before, or maybe not. It's just sort of, we like to give WWE shit for trying to wring all that money. And this is a situation where it seems like, oh, great, now they're sticking to the talent, but we completely do not know that situation. So we can't really,
exact nature
demonize WWE for that.
And if there's a sentiment in part of the AAA locker room that, regardless what the contract says, just in a very broad sense, WWE is inhibiting our ability to maximize our earning potential, which seems to be what Meltzer's getting at here, because we don't have any details about what's in the contract in terms of the financial aspects of it now as opposed to what was there before, so on and so forth. Just in the very general sense, this company comes in saying they want to increase our visibility worldwide, get more money in our pockets, and yet we as independent contractors are now not allowed to work in certain territories, therefore lessening our earning potential.
I think, dude, honestly, like any other situation similar to this, it's gonna boil down to this. There will be people there that will benefit from, I don't know what Mr. Iguana's situation was necessarily within the pantheon of AAA before WWE, but you got to believe that his stock has risen significantly since they came and took over. So good for Mr. Iguana. And probably good for a number of other talent that WWE's looked at and been like, oh, yeah, yeah, we like you. We're going to keep you guys around. We're going to give you opportunities, put more money in your pocket. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of others who are like, well, now I'm asked out. We know one of them, Alberto Del Rio. So there's going to be other talent that's asked out. And that's a bummer. But unfortunately, that's just sort of how it works in the world of business. When one company takes over another one, people are, they either benefit or they don't, and that's how it goes sometimes.
I mean, it's even a situation here in the States where maybe you're an independent talent here working in the States. You got an opportunity to go to NXT for less money. You probably get paid less than what someone would pay for the Elite Platinum package to go to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. Or you can go to AEW and probably make more money. Well, do you want to take less money up front with the potential to eventually make your way, hopefully, to the largest platform available to you as a pro wrestler?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think that's kind of like the argument or the debate that maybe would go into a lot of wrestlers' mind with the prospect of going to WWE is, all right, up front, might not make the same money or even close to money I can make elsewhere, but the prospect of, I can be on a WrestleMania card.
Yeah.
I can make main roster money right now is really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's really good.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
So, that's just kind of the debate it seems like a lot of wrestlers would probably have to wrestle with, given the opportunity to work with WWE or potentially make more elsewhere.
Much like when, Warner's put a bunch of money into Machinima, and then Machinima had to try to wring as much out of that as they could, and they got rid of us. And look at us now, Larson. Look at us now.
Yeah, I guess it all worked out all right for us.
I think we did all right. The August Predictions Challenge continues this weekend with Forbidden Doors.
Forbidden Door
on Sunday. That's right. So if you want in on the Predictions Challenge, what's on the line for the Predictions Challenge? Have I come up with anything for this? For the August one? Oh, I did. It was the thing. It was like the jersey and then the other thing that I did. It was like the Charlotte's theme jersey. Yeah, I did.
That's right.
I got the prize. It's right here. I think I got it on the thing. August Predictions. There it is.
SummerSlam seems so long ago.
It does. It seems like forever ago.
It does.
Anyways, be sure if you did the SummerSlam stuff, you still might have a chance to win this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of matches at Forbidden Door, and then, of course, we got Clash and Paris coming up as well. Those are part of the August Predictions Challenge as well. So if you have participated in SummerSlam one, be sure, because the Forbidden Door prediction form is up right now.
It's up right now. Went up
so
late
be
last
sure,
night. Yeah.
If you're a channel member here, by clicking Join. If you've already done that, be sure to go to the membership tab or the post thing for members only or whatever. Or if you go on the Patreon, if you're a patron as well. So be sure to do that. And then if you just want to, if you didn't do the SummerSlam one and you want to put us all on notice and you're not a channel member, you're not a patron, well, think about it. Just click on join right here, youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup there. Let's talk about Smackdown, Larson.
It was as a wrestling program, I guess it was all right. It's just another episode of Smackdown where not a whole lot was progressed from a storyline perspective. We had two really long promo segments on the show, one with John Cena and Logan Paul, which didn't really advance. Like the one bit on the show that actually advanced that story was Drew McIntyre going up to Logan Paul. It seemed like the kind of power dynamic between them has shifted since their match, because it kind of seemed like Drew was Logan's henchman when they tagged together against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Now Drew goes to Logan and goes, you gotta make an impact here. Make a statement.
Let me ask you this, dude. Does that segment tell you anything about Drew McIntyre and John Cena? You know, we've heard from from a variety of places, and then like some of our comments as well, ideas and thoughts about who should John Cena's last opponent be. Now, you know, we've heard that there's a possibility that it's going to be Gunther, and he's obviously a name, you know, having retired Goldberg, that would be like his shtick now that he doesn't have a championship anymore. Drew needs that more than Gunther. Drew has had a sleepy year, to say the least, compared to his 2024. And I liked that bit between him and Logan because it kind of gives me like Puppet Master vibes, you know, like he's back there. Hey, Logan, take it from me. This ain't the John Cena of yesteryear. It's not Super Cena, but you still need to do whatever you can to win this match. That tells me that Drew McIntyre has future plans for John Cena. I think that they got to do the thing because this promo between him and Logan Paul, number one, I don't know if Logan Paul mainlined a bunch of fucking soda or what, but he was like, my goodness.
Oh, at the end of his bit, he was nearly hyperventilating. He was so hyped up. Yeah.
He was extra, which is fine. It's a promo. You got to bring it for John Cena. You got to do what you got to do, I guess. But I think Cena's going to beat Brock. You don't bring Brock in for Cena's retirement year and then just have Brock lose to him. I'm sorry, have Brock beat him, and then that's it. So even if they do 2 matches, which I don't think they're going to do, I think they're going to do 1 and Cena's going to win. Cena will beat Logan Paul, and then Drew McIntyre might end up being his last match. I think that would do wonders for Drew if they actually made it kind of a protracted feud. When I saw this Logan Paul bit with John Cena, I saw the same shit with Austin Theory. And if I thought if this was anything but John Cena's retirement year, I'd be like, oh, Logan's going to win this. But I don't think that's the case. I think that Logan Paul's going to I think they'll probably have a decent match. I think John Cena will win it. He'll beat Brock. And so he'll have that John Cena, you know, the powers of John Cena will be strong. And then Drew hopefully will take those away from him in a win over John Cena on December 13th. That's kind of how I map this out when I watch what's going on. Does that seem like it's a possibility from your standpoint?
I definitely think he's going to beat Logan for sure. And maybe the win Logan will get in a way is his thing is he went endlessly on about this point during his promo. I'm not an outsider. I've been here for 4 years. Like he says, I've been doing this more than some other people in this company who aren't viewed as outsiders. And then John Cena later on calls him a parasite because he's trying to wring everything he can out of the WWE experience to benefit himself. So maybe at the end of this, there's understanding. Cena views Logan as someone who is dedicated to the craft of pro wrestling. Cena will give him his respect, and that's the win that Logan Paul gets after he loses to John Cena.
Yeah.
That might be it.
That could be. Long term, though, does this say anything about Drew McIntyre and John Cena?
I had the same thought that maybe they were positioning Drew as a future opponent for Cena at some point, but there's such a crowded field potentially with not very many matches left. And, you know, Cena named it. One of his points he made here is like Logan was taking up a match of his that Cena thought other wrestlers deserved. He mentioned Dom, he mentioned AJ, he mentioned Seth Rollins, Jacob Fatu, the Usos. So, you know, a lot of those names you could think, well, they'd all, you know, benefit from having a match with John Cena.
Cena versus both the Usos.
But then you add Drew to that and potentially Gunther for what he's probably going to have 3 matches after Clash. Brock.
Yeah, it seems like it's
Crown
right
Jewel,
now.
And then he might have a match at Survivor Series if his final match isn't until December.
I mean, we'll get one match at him for every month. So December, November, October,
September,
and
so 4 more.
September, so that'll be 4 after Logan. So we'll get you can do Brock. What do we say? Brock, Drew. I guess you could do Gunther, and then that leaves one more. If it's up to the crowd, it'd be AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm. To this crowd, tonight, Dublin, yeah.
Boy, oh boy, they were really chanting AJ Styles' name. It was like Logan Paul sucks, AJ Styles. Like what? Okay, I know. People love AJ Styles, man.
I mean, his feud with Cena in 2016 was awesome.
Classic, absolute classic. Really great matches too. Yeah. We also had a health update on Cody Rhodes. We can go through like
call it that.
We can go. Well, let's just do this bit by bit. We can go through some of the Cena, Logan Paul stuff. It was very long, so we're just going to paraphrase this stuff. Cena comes out, gets a big. This crowd was really that Dublin crowd was really stellar. Mm-hmm. He gets on the mic. Logan Paul immediately interrupts him. Crowd just starts giving him all sorts of shit, chanting "Fuck you, Logan." He says, "It's always good to be back in England." He says, "You guys are all the same, drunk, washed up failures." Calls them leprechauns. He says, "I'm the man you paid," because they had a chant, "Who are you?" And he says, "You know who I am. I'm the man you paid money to go see." He says, "I can't stand the disrespect towards me. The Twitter warriors calling me an outsider." He says, "I've done this for 4 years. Every match I've had is great. I've done this longer than half the people on the roster. The best this company has. I'm next up. When are you idiots going to accept me?" He says, "I am who I say I am. You are a corporate pawn." So he goes on and on, he says, "One of us is an imposter. The guy who fights at every premium live event for your pleasure, the same guy who's done the same move for 23 years. A guy who leaves to be someone else, or a guy who stays here to be himself." He says, "The fact is, I'm Logan Paul. I'm here to stay." He says, "John, I can't wait to share the ring with you, but I'm not signing a cohabitation agreement. This is my house." So Cena says, talks him up a little bit, says he's an undeniable presence, a tremendous athlete, a future WWE champion, a future WrestleMania main eventer. This is what I believe to be true, and boy, that makes me upset. He says, "I know that makes you upset too," talks to the crowd. He said, "I know why." He says, "For years you called him everything, but you stuck on this one term." He says, "I guess Dublin chooses wanker," because that's what they started chanting. Mm-hmm. He says, "The term I keep hearing is Logan Paul is an outsider." He says, "You got to course correct. He ain't leaving. We're stuck with him." He says, "He's not an outsider. He's a disappointment." He says, "We were so excited when you came here. We opened our arms to you. And instead of respecting this house, what do? And he goes out and he goes to the Prime station. He gets behind it. He says, "You use us as some branding opportunity to buy another Pokemon card." He shoves over the Prime thing. He says, "On top of that, you have the audacity to bully my family, disrespect our home, then brag that you put your life on the line for a grand total of 23 matches. Wow, that's amazing. I've given my heart and soul for 23 years. He goes on and on. He says, all I ever do is ask one question to myself: what can I give to this business? The reason they give you a hard time is because they can see you're a slimy dog. Your question is, what can I take from this business? It doesn't matter. I'm dropping wisdom on you," because he starts yapping. He says, "Shut your mouth." He says, "It doesn't matter how fast you are, how high you jump, or how many viral videos you create. They see through your bullshit and know you're here for the wrong reasons." He says, "I'll flip the script. You're not an outsider. You're a parasite." And he says, I'm just going to get to the last one because he says, "If you think for 1 second in my final moments, I'm going to let you waltz into Paris with a drone, just some backflipping YouTuber selling salt water, you're in for a long night. At Clash in Paris, you'll either understand what it means to give yourself up to this business I love, or I'm going to beat the ever-living shite out of you."
Yeah.
And then Logan flicks Cena's cap off, shoves him a couple times, tries to go for a right hand. Instead, he gets hit with an AA, and then Cena poses. Later on, Logan's backstage. He bumps into Drew. This is what we were talking about earlier. He says, "What the hell was that? You're scared of John Cena. Subconsciously, you're scared. I get it. 17-time world champ, Super Cena. But here's a little secret. That's not Super Cena. This is not 2010 anymore. You're in your prime, and you need to make it right. Think of what I did to Cody. But you need to make this right no matter what it takes." And Logan starts to walk off, and Drew grabs him and says, "Whatever it takes." So then after the main event we had, John Cena's leaving. Nick Aldis catches up with him. He's like, "Hey, John, I just heard from Brock Lesnar. He was about to say something. And then out of nowhere, Logan knocks out John Cena with his right hand. Aldis chases him off and checks on Cena. That's how the show goes off the air. Mm-hmm. I actually do appreciate that there is this looming threat of Brock Lesnar within the story. How he's, Cena brought him up. He was like, hey, I'm here whenever you want me. And then now it's like, hey, he's got this other stuff going on, but Aldis is like, hey, I heard from him. So it's like, oh, there's a little bit of, okay, well, what happens next?
Except we know what happens next. Probably a boring match.
2 50-year-olds gassed within 5 minutes.
We know what happens next because Brock's been doing the same thing for, since he came back in 2012, whenever it was?
Yeah.
So for a dozen plus years, he's been doing the same thing. So speaking of the health update on Cody, there is no update. They're like, we're looking for an update. We want an update. Instead, Drew barges in on commentary. It's like, where's the story? So any medical update? And he takes Wade's notes and stands on the announce table. So I'll give you an official update. Cody Rhodes is a little bitch.
Holy shit, that's a scoop.
He says, but I've done you a favor. I gave you more time with what you would need most in your life, that WWE title. He said, kick your wife out of bed and sleep with the title. Take some selfies with it. You're going to fight Drew McIntyre. I'm one of the few who have pinned you. And when I do it next time, I'm taking that title. He says, I was walking backstage and how many people told me off? 0. They all want your spot. You have no friends. It's all right, though. But then Randy Orton slides in. The crowd goes crazy. RKO.
Yeah, smart move not to have Cody in Dublin because Drew is getting so many, great receptions from the crowd here. The crowd was loving Drew. And then, obviously they love Randy Orton. And Randy sliding in, they did a great job on production where he just sort of pops up. And he's like, doing that shit. It was hilarious, and everybody loves an RKO.
So Becky opens the show, comes to the ring for a promo. Huge pop. She talks about going to shows in Dublin. Says Randy Orton once made eye contact with her at a show that she attended. She says, but none of you deserve it. None of you deserve to be on TV. She said, I actually petitioned to get this show canceled. And they start chanting for Lyra Valkyria. And she's like, nah, she'd never get a shot at my title ever again. No. She says, you don't appreciate me. She says, there's a lack of media coverage that I received when I here. I'm your hero. I shouldn't have to tell you that because that's not how it works, but here we are. She says, people are let down by their heroes. Tides turned. I'm disappointed in each and every one of you. As the single greatest female wrestler in the world, everybody says it. She mentioned Sports Illustrated. I achieved things people thought were impossible. I shouldn't have to list them, but as a hero, I go the extra mile. She talks about main eventing WrestleMania. She says, I'm a New York Times best-selling author. Was James Joyce? Oscar Wilde? No, they weren't New York Times best-selling authors. I'm a Grand Slam champ. I make history every year. I'm making it now, and on top of that, I have a very hot American husband. So you should give me a parade. A statue on Brockton Street would be my preference, though. And then she starts talking trash about Irish celebrities. Mm-hmm, and a couple of the names I didn't recognize, but I did. She did talk shit about Bono, said that he's pretentious. He needs to take his sunglasses off when he's inside. Only wrestlers get to wear sunglasses inside. But then she's interrupted by Tiffany Stratton. She gets the mic, says, Becky, what I don't understand is how you could be so ungrateful. But not only that, you're on the wrong show. I've come to enjoy my time here, and I think everyone here knows what time it is. So, Rebecca, you can leave. Or if you don't want to, on behalf of Dublin, I'll make you leave. So Nia comes out and says, Tiffany, why are you concerning yourself with Becky? She's got a point. Dublin sucks. But she doesn't even go here. You got other problems, and they're standing right in front of you. So Nia takes out Tiffany, and then Becky stomps on her too. Jade's music hits. She comes and takes out Nia with a pump kick, and her and Becky look like they're about to square up when Nick Aldis comes out and books a tag match for our main event.
Yeah.
Nia and Becky against Jade and Tiffany.
They didn't give this one a lot of time. Before the match, we had Stratton backstage, and she tells Jade, hey, I didn't need your help. And Jade's like, I just want to make sure you're at 100%. So when I beat you, there are no excuses. we also had Becky warming up backstage, and this was fun because obviously they've got a history, you know, with Nia clocking Becky that time, and the awesome image of all the blood coming out of Becky's nose almost 10 years ago, I think. So Nia's like, let's make one thing clear. Tiffany and Jade can't step to me like that. But since we have to tag, let's get on the same page. And Becky said, listen, we are still mortal enemies, but I'm a hero to these people, and I need you to be on the same page as me. Nia's like, yeah, okay, I know. And then walks off. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
They have good chemistry.
They do. This match was like 8 minutes long for your main event. I think 7.5, actually.
Yeah. Did not
short.
give it much time.
No. Tiffany and Jade get the win. So Jade hits a rack bomb, goes for a splash, misses. Becky tags in. Nia tags in. Jade takes out Nia and then throws Becky across the ring. Nia slides in, squashes Jade. Becky walks out on Nia.
Yeah, it was great because like Jade like sort of chucks Becky and she rolls and then backs up to the ropes and then just like, all right, I'm out of here. And then she just beats feet.
Yeah. So Nia with the senton, looking for the Annihilator. Jade, though, counters with the power bomb. And then Tiffany hits the prettiest moonsault ever. Jade falls with a frog splash to get the win.
I do think that like a feud between heel Nia Jax and heel Becky Lynch could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if they're going to do it on different brands, but that could be fun.
I imagine Becky is on Smackdown this week because Smackdown was in Dublin. So Solo tried to give Jim Uso a little bit of fatherly advice, suggesting a name for his child.
Oh, baby Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the MFTs were later on trying to get into the tag title picture. Didn't go so well for them. So first, backstage.
There's a lot of tag teams on SmackDown.
A lot
of SmackDown tag teams.
So Kathy's interviewing Jim Uso. Offers some congratulations to him and Naomi. He says, all the love I've been getting from everybody, I mean everybody. So Sammy runs in. They hug. And he goes, sorry to interrupt. I'm so happy for you. It was crying my eyes out. I found out when everybody else did. I know the family is huge, but he always has an uncle in Sammy Uso. So then Solo and MFT walk in. And so Solo says, I know the ship sailed with you, but when that new baby arrives, it'll have plenty of offers from my family. I'm going to do you a favor. I'll give you a blessing. You can name him after his favorite uncle, Uncle Solo. Jimmy says, I already thought about it, Oos. I got a great answer. He does the no yeet.
No yeet.
And then Sammy has to say, that means no yeet. We know what it means, Sammy.
We know what it means, Sammy.
Sammy continues, I don't think you need to worry about naming babies. You need to worry about holding on to that title. So Solo says, what? Is this another underdog story? So Sammy says, you aren't dealing with underdog Sammy. You're dealing with Sammy Hogan. I mean, WrestleMania main eventer Sammy.
You know, at some point, one of these dudes or gals have to embrace the Becky Hogan, the Sammy Hogan.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to embrace that at some point.
So later on, we get the Street Profits taking on JC and Tonga Loa. Jimmy tries to come out to counter the strength of Tala Tonga with steel chair. Steel chair jobbed out huge to Tala Tonga.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, just kicked it right out of his hand.
Yeah. So then Solo's on the announce table celebrating all this. Yeah. And then Sammy comes out and trips him up. And Solo had the most cartoonish sell. Because he falls on the announce table. He's holding his back. Ah!
Oh, he just lets out the biggest comedic wail you'd ever hear.
Oh, it was so good. So
Sammy Loa chases off Sammy. Yeah. Tonga Loa. Yeah. Sammy hits a Luva kick on him. Tonga Loa chases him off. Ford charges in with a big tope on JC and Tonga Loa. We get a sky high from Dawkins. Ford covers. Profits get the win. Also, okay. So, like, I've seen Tour of the Islands several times. They called this Tour of the Islands.
This is what Jeff Cobb used to call the athletic plex, I believe.
Ah, okay.
It's the belly-to-back suplex, but he spins them.
Yeah, okay.
Alpha Zo used to do that move, too.
Okay, right. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a modified version or what. But what's his face? Joe Tess.
Yeah.
Just because that last part is kind of a little bit of the Tour of the Islands. He called it that, and then Montez kicked out of it. Was like, okay, listen, I know Jeff Cobb is not high up on the totem pole, but let's not start kicking out of his finish just yet.
No, it wasn't a tour of the islands. It was the sidewinder belly to back suplex type deal.
All right, cool.
So we were supposed to get Alistair versus R-Truth.
Man, R-Truth's face turn has really kind of put a snag in this whole Aleister Black feud.
I know.
Because, like, when it started, it was like Ron Killings, you know? It was like, oh, I'm a badass now. I'm a bad dude now. And then, like, mid-feud, because Cena turns face, Truth turns face. And so Aleister's stuck feuding with a comedy guy. And I know it's more of a Damian Priest feud, but it's kind of like still Truth is around. And so, like, Aleister Black goes out there because he's supposed to have this match with R-Truth.
Whatever. Like, there was a potentially interesting dynamic to be had there.
Yeah.
Based on how this was set up. And then that dynamic has changed. And it seems like we're not getting any potential interesting story between Aleister and Truth.
No.
It's just going to be Aleister and Damian brawling a lot.
And that's what this is. So Truth shows up on the Tron after Aleister's already in the ring. He says, I got good news and bad news. Bad news, I can't make it tonight. I know, I'm sorry, my bad. I flew to Dublin, Georgia. I didn't know there were two places named Dublin, so I ended up here. But I made a call to one of my friends, Aleister Black, never fret, say hello to my little friend. His little friend ends up being Damian Priest. Get no match. They just brawl a bunch, and then a bunch of refs come down and start breaking it up. So
Yep.
Maybe they'll make it to a premium live event at some point. Because I think their last one was on Smackdown. It was a good match, but it was on Smackdown.
Yeah, it was a solid match. So Mia, for several weeks now, has been making it clear that she wants a shot at that U.S. title. So we see Kiana James talking to Julia backstage. She says, my next client is a done deal. All I need is a signature. So Mia Yim walks up and says, I don't know if your assistant gave you the message, so I thought I'd tell you to your face. I want an appointment with the champion. And Kiana says, excuse me, over here, nothing happens without going through me. And so Mia says, yeah, I'm tired of the missed calls and appointments, so I'm talking to the champ directly. So Kiana responds, if you want to get to Julia, you have to go through me first. So Mia responds, do you think I'll be mad at 2 matches instead of 1 once I get through you? And then Julia will have no choice but to defend her title against moi. And then Julia just says, I'm not worried.
Yeah, nor should she be. That'll be a good match, though, once they actually get around to it.
Yeah.
So another team trying to continue to break into the tag ranks, Mellow Don't Miz. They get another win here, this time over Motor City Machine Guns. And once again, Miz sort of stole a victory here. So first we're backstage with Fraxium. They pay their respects to Mello. They're like, hey, man, you guys are doing great. But watch out. Fraser's like, watch out for the Miz, though. He's a schemer. Miz shows up out of nowhere. He says, schemer, do you know who I am? And Mello starts, glossing him up, saying, this is the Miz, the most decorated man in WWE, 10-time tag champ, future Hall of Famer. I've been watching him since I was a kid. The reason we're here and you're not is because he's smarter than everyone, and that's why we're in this position. And Miz is sort of taken aback by this. He's like, oh, that's nice. He says, because we're Mellow Don't Miz, and we are Oz him. And so they come out. They have that match against Motor City Machine Guns. And I kind of felt for who ended up beating the pin here? It was Sabin. So Carmelo, they do the thing once again where, so Motor City Machine Guns get a shot on Mello. Sabin tags in. They try the skull and bones, but Miz shoves Sabin into Shelly. Miz can't hit a skull-crushing finale. Mello gets a blind tag in. Sabin takes out Miz, but then he eats a La Mystica for 2. Miz tags in as Mello goes for nothing but net. Mello gets mad. Sabin shoves Mello into Miz because they're arguing as Miz is on the apron. A lung blower by Sabin. Shelly takes out Mello. I'm sorry, a lung blower on Sabin.
Yeah.
From Mello.
Yeah.
And then, it takes forever for the Miz to get back in the ring and get the pin with no additional moves.
Yeah.
And they get the win here.
Yeah.
Boy, Sabin was selling the shit out of that.
Yeah. There was stretches of this match that were pretty funny because it was like every move Miz and Mello were tagging the other one out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right, yeah.
Every time, Miz was anywhere near his own corner, Mello would tag in and vice versa.
And I like the performance at the end because Miz comes down immediately. It's not like he's celebrating for himself. He goes down there immediately to Mello, and he's like, hey, we did it, we did it. And Mello's not mad. He's like, all right, I guess this is how it's going to be, but we got the win.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're going to be, potentially set up for, what's there's a number one contenders. Yeah, it's going to be them and it was advertised for. So next week, SmackDown, we've got Solo versus Sammy for the U.S. title. That's happening on a SmackDown. And then Street Profits versus Mello and Miz for the number one contendership for the tag title. So that's happening next week on SmackDown as well.
Cool.
Who do you think wins that match? Is it going to continue to be Mello Don't Miz?
I mean,
who are the tag? Is it still the Wyatts right now?
Still the Wyatts right now, and I feel like the Street Profits just had a title. I mean, they were just in the TLC match at SummerSlam, obviously.
What's more likely, Mello Don't Miz as tag champs, or they break up?
They break up. I don't think they're winning the tag titles. This is a means by them to break up and feud.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if they have like 5 tag teams that have been established for a while, and then the team that actually beats the Wyatts ends up being Mello Don't Miz?
Or it'd be even crazier if it was Tongaloa and JC Mateo are the ones that beat.
Okay, that would actually be crazier, but I'm trying to talk about some measure of reality here. Those guys are jobbers.
Speaking of tag titles, Secret Hervis, they want those women's tag titles. So we get a match between Piper and Charlotte. This match was really good.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, man.
They said Alexa wasn't cleared to be there or something, so she wasn't ringside with Charlotte. Charlotte was out there by herself, whereas Piper, of course, had Chelsea and Alba Fire. So down towards the finish, Charlotte's looking for a figure 8, but gets kicked off, yet hits the spear, gets a 2 with that. Chelsea gets on the apron. Charlotte knocks her off, so then she locks on a figure 8 on Piper. Alba distracts the ref. Chelsea goes over and gouges Charlotte in her eyes. Piper hits a splash and then hits Michinoku driver, Piper driver to get the win.
Yeah. No, it was good. And they have their tag title shot is next week on SmackDown too. That was announced.
It's
Secret Hervis.
Clash in Paris SmackDown, huh?
Yeah. It definitely seems that way. All right, man. Are you ready to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Would you like to look at the television? Let's see here. Theoretically, Drew says, we've all seen chairs, staplers, kendo sticks, and tables so often. What random household objects that you haven't seen used do you think would make funny or interesting weapons to use in the ring?
Good question.
An old dish TV satellite dish. I was laughing so hard when I sent you and Hilton that picture of me at the old house we used to live at.
Yeah.
And you're that dish is still up there.
Yeah. Remember when that dish was put on the house?
Yeah, it was 25 years ago.
Yeah. I guess they're called rubber mallets, where it's like a hammer, but at the top there's, it's not made of metal, it's made of rubber. Usually to close paint cans, so you don't dent the rim because you just can't put the lid on. You got to hammer it on.
Okay,
so rubber
there you
mallet.
go. Shit would hurt.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Ken Adams' business firm asks, what happened to AEW Shockwave? I feel like that wasn't even a false rumor like Swerve talked about a new show on Fox on accident during an interview. Never heard those other guys say that it was canceled. Odd.
How far along in the negotiations do you think AEW got with Fox?
I mean, it's seemingly far enough that Swerve was under the impression that it was going to happen.
Maybe Swerve's just one of those guys who, Tony and him were talking. Tony was like, hey, we're talking to Fox right now. And that was enough.
Could be. Maybe Swerve was trying to manifest it.
And all it was Tony Khan and a couple of those snake executives slithering their way to some fancy restaurant like Dorsia.
Yeah,
and they're
Dorsia.
And then he couldn't come to terms.
No, but they did look at each other's business cards.
Yeah. Is this Bone? I like this one. Steve. Joe the Meme Maker says, "Who are your favorite Irish actors?" I got mine. Calm Meaney.
It's good.
O'Brien from Deep Space Nine and Next Generation.
You know who I like? Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell's great.
He's really good.
Good Lord, dude. I don't think I've ever seen an actor get so lost as he is in The Penguin. Every time I watch, I'm trying to find him. And I can't. Mm-hmm. Like, the makeup is so good.
Well, the
and
performance,
his performance
is better.
Is so good.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It is fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good.
He's so good. He is so
He's
good.
really good. He's really good.
Yeah.
Where's my questions at? Edward Munoz asks, what's your favorite cheap pop? Edward says, for example, I love when the heels insult the local sports team. Works every time.
Yeah.
Best one of that, of course, is Elias and Kevin Owens in Seattle.
Oh, that was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah. The Rock in Sacramento was pretty devastating as well.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite cheap pop. I mean, you got to appreciate just mentioning the place that they're at. You know?
Yeah.
Foley used to do it right here in Sacramento, California. Woo! Yeah, he did the thumbs up.
Stare in the camera, give the thumbs up.
I mean, these days, you just whip out a table and you're good.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Greg Morris asks, what classic promo would you like to have heard a wrestler say, fuck in?
I would have loved to have heard Dusty Rhodes use the word fuck.
That was the first one I thought of, too.
It's hard fucking times, baby.
Yeah.
Son of a fucking plumber. Obviously, Jake fucking Roberts, you sit there bumping your fucking Bible. That might, boy, that dude can, because on his podcast and everything, you can hear Austin curse.
Yeah.
And he says fuck better than almost anybody. So that's the guy I've heard him say fuck. And then Austin 316 says, I just whooped your fucking ass. Tell me that doesn't have some heat behind it.
You thought he was over before.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Angel Zero says, do you miss any chaotic booking from Vince? No. Because for every one moment of like, oh, wow, he actually had a lucid thought on how to, I'm talking about the last like 10 years of Vince. For every one lucid good idea he had like 90 that were awful.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just it was a mess. No, I don't miss any of that.
No. Mr. Sinister asks, should WWE do a real Worlds Collide show with TNA, NXT, AAA, and main roster? If so, what 3 matches would you like to see that include all brands in a match?
I will say this. The only way I'd want them to do that show is if it was a Mystery Vortex show.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Where you have no idea who's coming out next or what the match is. That's what because I don't want I wouldn't be able to handle a month-long build across every goddamn show and try to have them coordinate that. Mm-hmm. That sounds like misery. Not Mystery Vortex. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, agreed. Alex Foster says, what wrestler would you give the worst WrestleMania entrance to, and what would the entrance be?
Jeez. I mean, Jey Uso has maybe the best entrance right now because it's so electric. Everybody loves it. So we'll see. We'll put that to the test and see if we can give him the worst entrance.
I have the best answer. An entrance that would lead to the performer losing all aura.
Okay, good.
It's Werewolf Ed Edwards.
Oh, wow.
During his entrance, transformed back to full human.
Oh, wow.
So he walks through the curtain, werewolf. Mm-hmm. By the time he gets to the ring, he's just Ed Edwards. And he's like, I'm just Ed Edwards now.
I don't know, man. How would he pull that one off?
Well, that's the thing is like he'd have to walk by places on the ramp or on the stage where he could like lose some of his werewolf gear kind of clandestinely. So he walks like behind a little bit of a wall, and suddenly he's got like one normal hand, still having one werewolf hand. You're like, this is terrible. This is poorly executed. And by the time he gets to the ring, he's just going to be Ed Edwards.
And then the last station is his clothes. but he's got on like tighty whities with a stanny on it. Yeah, I think we just booked the worst possible entrance I've ever heard of. That sounds horrible. That's
Especially
like career ending.
WrestleMania, yeah.
At the biggest stage of them all.
Yeah.
That's career ending right there. WrestleMania should be a mystery vortex. Don't build.
I mean, apparently they could sell $70,000 travel packages.
Sight unseen.
People are going to buy the tickets, regardless of what you do.
It'd be like a 2-month build of people just being like, "What? Who am I fighting? I don't know. Have you heard you're fighting it? I don't know."
Like one person knows. Winner of the Rumble.
yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
They don't know what champ they're facing.
But what if this?
It'd have to be this. This is what you do. Everybody in the Rumble, they all wear they all wear masks, but they're all the same mask.
Yeah.
So you don't know who anybody is. Although you could probably figure it out,
Yeah, but you don't know who won.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the guy's celebrating in there, and it's like, is that Drew's chest? Who is that? He's too skinny. How tall is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And everybody would just be forced to do like the basic moves. Like no one could do any of their signature moves because that's the tell.
Yeah, no taunts.
Nope.
No moves.
Nope.
Mystery vortex. And then how about this? Elimination chamber. Tinted walls.
Good.
It's the deep tint. You can't see shit in there.
No.
It's like a one-way mirror.
Yeah.
Where like only the guys inside can see out.
Yeah, but not vice versa. Yes.
Crowd's just staring at a mirror.
Like what the heck's going on?
So nobody knows what the matches are going to be. You can't talk about everybody signs an NDA on the way to the ring. Oh, that's terrible.
It is. Figby here says, should TNA rename their women's division? It feels like a relic from the past.
Knockouts?
Yeah.
No, that's badass. You knock somebody out, you win the match. I'm cool with that. What do we say? What did I say the other day, man? We need more of that AAA flavor where there's just sort of batshit crazy stuff. And TNA, they have a werewolf.
They have a werewolf.
If WWE buys them, they got to bring werewolf into their canon.
And then have the worst WrestleMania entrance ever.
Right. And on top of that, change the name of the WWE Women's Division to the Knockouts Division. That's a badass name. What would they? Then they could. Hey, screw it. You know what? Equality, right? Rename the men's division while you're at it. Cool Dudes Division. I don't know what you're gonna call it. that's a little less cool than Knockouts. But I don't know what you'd call it. Technical Knockouts.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
I don't know. Timor here says, who would you say is being wasted more as a champion? Julia with the U.S. title or Judgment Day with the tag titles?
Oh, Julia. Judgment Day, they were just at the thing, the AAA.
Yeah, they were at WrestleMania, yeah.
Wildly fun show.
It was. Do you have any more questions over there?
Yeah, I got a couple here.
All right.
You've talked about this before a little bit. AJ Otani should know this already, but we'll go ahead and... As someone who's about to watch the show, how do you feel about spoilers?
Oh, I just look at them as like kind of a fact of life at this point. I'm a process person. I'm interested in process, not necessarily the end. So
if it's a show that's pre-taped or it was live on Netflix, I didn't even know about it till you texted me. Yeah. You're like, SmackDown's up. I was so happy. I'm like, we're going to be done by 6 today. Yeah, that's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, because sometimes when you read this happen, well, how did we get there? Because usually how we got there is the more interesting part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for you and I are a little bit different. For me, there are certain spoilers that like, oh man, I'm kind of bummed out. I knew that. Mm-hmm.
I feel that way too. But at the same time, it's like this is how it just is. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Honestly, if it's a Raw or SmackDown, the fuck do I care? Let me guess what the spoiler is for Raw. It's going to end and begin with the Vision.
Yeah, I know.
I know how that's going to go.
Not that shocking.
No.
Zero here asked, you guys look like you're in decent shape.
Nice. I wouldn't say that about me today on the basketball court. Oh, my God.
It was really hot. It was hot.
It was so hot out there.
Yeah, it was really hot.
I could barely move with my legs the way they are.
I was worried I was going to play sluggishly, too, because I didn't sleep great last night. Anyways. So Zero says, I'm trying to get into shape myself. What does your guys' workout routine look like, and any advice for a newer person to a gym?
Go ahead, man. You're in much better shape than I am.
The number one thing you got to do when you put a workout routine together. Sorry. Number one thing you got to do when you start going to the gym is have a reason or behind everything you do. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm trying to figure out how to best put it. You got to go in with a plan. If you don't go in with a plan, you're just lifting weights and you got to put a workout together that leads to the goals that you want to accomplish. You can't just go in there and start lifting weights and running on the treadmill. You'll see some results, but it won't be optimal. I would suggest this. You can go to the gym 3 days a week. Do one exercise per, like muscle region, one for chest, one for back, biceps, triceps, shoulders, legs. Do 2 or 3 sets of 10 reps each. You'll see some progress over time. Give it a couple months. It takes that long before you really start seeing results. And then once you feel comfortable at a certain weight, either do more reps or add more weight. They'll see progress as you progress, as you continually progress in terms of more reps. But at a certain point, you just add more weight. That's the best I could really say. That it was horribly inarticulate and not really well put. But
no, it was great.
Going in with a plan.
Sense.
If you don't go in with that plan, you're not going to probably see the results you really want to see. You have to go in with a plan.
Yeah. I basically asked ChatGPT. I was just like, hey, this is my weight. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. These are the days that I do this. This is the day I do that. I just tell it everything. Now come up with a workout plan for me and a meal plan for me. And then it did it. Man, Lacey and I did a leg day the other day, and my legs are still killing me from it. That's why I fucking just dropped a complete turd.
Hey, when you do squats, do you do back squats?
No, I don't do back squats.
Okay.
No.
I was just curious.
But I'm going to start adding to it because right now I only do 3 days. But they had an upper body day, a lower body day, and then a full body routine.
Yeah.
And I've tweaked it a little bit here and there, but in terms of just being sort of a general thing, man, I fucking feel it. And I think that's my thing with the workouts. If you feel it, you're on a good track, But yeah, it's worked for me so far because it can be overwhelming trying to come up with a plan because I 1,000% agree with you. And the results for you are obvious. And I think it's a great idea to come up with a plan. Sometimes coming up with that plan is a little on the daunting side because for a while I was like, okay, I don't know that what I'm doing is really working. But when I put it all into the fucking AI thing, it was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. And when I come out of it, I feel like I had a really good workout.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the thing to remember too is you might see or read about somebody's plan. You're like, oh, that seems like something that would work for me, and you're not getting the results. Everybody's different.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Everybody's body is going to respond to working out a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is to a certain degree. I mean, even with yours, you had your plan laid out, but you saw, all right, I want to do this. I think this would be better than that. Mm-hmm, there is a certain amount of kind of trial and error and finding the sweet spot for everything, and that includes. I used to do 4 sets, 12. Mm-hmm. Problem for us, playing basketball, my body was too fatigued doing that much because I work out usually 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I usually lift some sort of weights 5 days a week. And so it was too much for me, too much. So I scaled back to doing only 2 sets, and the results are way better now.
Yeah.
I feel tired. I feel like I'm stronger in the gym, all that type of stuff. So,
Dave Matuchek will wrap up on this one. Says, with the G1 Climax having no 5-star matches, including the final, do you think that New Japan may be having trouble when it comes to presentation and booking? Did you read Meltzer's write-up on the issues of New Japan?
I did not, but I can speculate what he
it's
wrote.
just, everybody thought, for example, Yota Tsuji would be a really great option to win the G1. Use this time, given that Tanahashi, Naito, Okada, they're all basically gone or on the way out. You got to start elevating those younger stars, and you've got some great talent. and they go with Takeshita, who is signed to New Japan, but he's also mainly an AEW guy.
Mm-hmm.
And according to Meltzer, and I think he's tuned into that kind of stuff, the fans kind of see Takeshita as not their guy. And even though he's a tremendous talent,
Yeah.
Putting him in there with Evil just ain't going to be the thing to do. And there were no like good long-term stories within the tournament this year. Like David Finlay apparently like lost the first batch of matches and he had a comeback, but then he lost in like, you know, what, the quarterfinle or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it seems like, and you know, their attendance is dropping, like they just can't. And so it is they're that's one of the things about AEW and WWE is like New Japan is going to end up being a feeder for those guys, you know? And it's like, if they can't get their revenue up, not being able to offer their wrestlers what WWE can, it's like, okay, you build up Yota Tsuji, this dude might split as soon as he wins the IWGP title. And so it's a gnarly situation for them to be in, but you know, you got to take that chance that like, hey, we'll be able to keep some of these guys.
Yeah.
You got to start building up some of these younger dudes in a way that matters. And I'm speaking as simply somebody who paid a little bit of attention to this, knows what New Japan was, and now sees them in a spot where it's like, you know,
I'm really surprised they didn't have Sonata with his current gimmick, you know, smoking the cigar.
Yeah. Wearing Giant Gonzalez outfits.
Yeah.
I got to find that fucking clip of him.
They didn't have him win the G1.
Honestly, that sounds like peak Sonata. Remember, everybody's like, "Oh, Sonata's gonna leave." That was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Giant Gonzalez. Let's see if I got like a picture. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll send this your way, or just honestly just Google really quick.
Yeah.
Sonata Giant Gonzalez. It's amazing.
Look at that autofill.
Like that Sonata should have won.
Oh my goodness.
He's got a guitar and a cigar.
Yeah.
Why, sir?
He's got a thong on too, it looks like.
Yeah. Like, why, sir? That is amazing.
That's funny.
That is absolutely fantastic. Like, that should be your future.
That is funny.
He is wearing a thong. That is hilarious. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Have a good, safe weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. What's going on? What are we doing on? Oh, our Forbidden Door review.
Forbidden Door. Right. We can do Forbidden Door in the morning. I guess Raw in the afternoon or something.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
What are we doing on Sunday? Are you is Sunday evening off limits for doing a Forbidden Door review?
Not necessarily. I don't know what I'm doing on Sunday yet.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll take Sunday off. We'll just do a 2 for on Monday. In any event, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.